look at Eminem's life. Eminem's been sheltered his whole life with security. So Eminem probably got mad anxiety. He probably can't be by himself and walk through a mall. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me at the most craziest gas station in any hood in America. You'd be like, that you, Zeno? Somebody, yo, let me get a picture. Yeah.
Bro, let me tell you, his fans like him because he's white. They don't fuck with us. Let me try to make
fuck Eminem. I dusted Eminem. Rap Elvis, bitch. Yeah.
Okay. It's 2025 and Benzino is still out here trying hard to drag Eminem into another back and forth. But M hasn't said a single word about him since Doomsday. Part 2 dropped. Zeno's now claiming that Eminem used him for clout, saying M built his whole street rep off their early 2000s beef, then tossed him aside like nothing according to Benzino. He swears he's the reason Eminem was ever seen as controversial, raw, or real. And yeah, their drama did make noise back then, but let's be real. M crushed him with the sauce and nail in the coffin. After that, Eminem released 8 Mile, grabbed an Oscar, and dominated the entire 2000s while Benzino lost the source, lost the culture, and somehow still acts like he's the hero of the story. M stays completely unbothered by all his loud talking, but of course someone else stepped in, and you already know exactly who that is. 50 Cent, M's ride or die from day one, slid onto Instagram to clown Benzino, and now those two are going back and forth like it's vintage hip-hop drama all over again. Meanwhile, Eminem is probably somewhere chilling with a pen in his hand, smirking while watching the chaos unfold. So here's what we're diving into. What Benzino actually said, how 50 flipped the whole situation and turned it viral overnight, and why Eminem's silence is hitting harder than any diss track he could drop right now. Alright, here's the chaos. Benzino just dropped a new freestyle, and the entire internet is clowning it so hard that people are saying it's the hottest track in the senior citizen community right now. The comments are wild, and of course Curtis Jackson wasn't about to stay quiet. 50 threw the clip on his X account with the caption, "Yo, this the worst sub I heard this year. He's 60 years old, bro." And he did not hold back one bit.
Shit, fucking with my blood, like a rip shit. I was 60 niggas on my neck.
Benzino wasn't letting that slide, so he fired right back at 50 with a comeback that went straight for 50's connections. He took a swipe at 50's former partner Daphne, mentioning her ties to Diddy, and then went full wild card by challenging 50 to a boxing match on top of everything.
Just posted it, right? And I'm like, this nigga really, he really fuck with Zeno, huh? I mean, what you should be doing, Kurt, is explaining to little Bruce Leroy while Sleeves and Diddy and a bunch of niggas was slutting around. I think you're gonna have to owe him an explanation when he gets older. Don't act like we ain't see you on the beach with your Bugs Bunny T-plate with the camera taking pictures, yeah. You was in your feelings, huh? Nah, Curtis, it's not a good look. But I tell you what, though. The boxing challenge still there, Curtis, for the celebrity. I'm down to make a couple of M's. I'll go 3 rounds with your goofy ass. That's number 1.
The whole situation spun fast, and the internet ate it up instantly. But if you're wondering why 50 even bothers spending time dragging Benzino, it's simple. Loyalty comes first. One thing about 50 is he rides for his people like a real one. No hesitation. And Eminem is at the top of that list without question. M's the one who believed in 50 back when the industry was too scared to stand beside him, so that bond is locked in for life. So when Benzino went at Eminem back in the early 2000s, that stamped Benzino as a permanent enemy in 50's world. No switching up. And that's exactly why every time Benzino pops up with a diss, 50 slides in ready to turn the whole situation into a circus all over again. And now Benzino spinning the block again, calling Eminem sheltered, saying he won't step outside without security, while bragging that he can roam anywhere solo with no worries.
Paul Rosenberg or Rosenthaler? It's Benzino. Hello? Yeah, who's this? Paul. Yeah, Paul's Benzino. How you doing, man? I'm not doing too good. I mean, Steve told me that you want to talk to me, so I'm calling back. Yeah, I spoke to him. He sounds like a little whiny little bitch that you know what I'm saying, that stays behind security and stays in the studio and blocked away from society, that he can say whatever he wants. You see, I'm not that fucking dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that dude, man, about Boston niggas extorting Dave and everything. What type of shit is that? The real extortion is him extorting hip-hop from fucking dumb streets. That's the real extortion here. You knew what he was gonna do. You knew the songs. You knew what he said about me. You knew this conversations he had with Fat Chuck. You knew all this shit.
No.
You should have had these peaceful conversations with him.
Listen, the only thing that I knew, that if you can't turn this into a thing against me, you and I don't have a problem.
Oh, I don't. This isn't. You're a part. Listen, you manage Elvis. You're a part of him. You're a part of him. You're just as much of a part of him. You run Shady Records. You're a part of him. You're a part of that movement. Don't you think it's out of hand already?
Well, you know what? I didn't want it to happen in the first place. I spoke to Dave after I heard about the first record, and I was like, Dave, what's up? Why, where's this coming from? And he was like, he's got some things he wanted to get off his chest.
And you know what I'm saying? But I mean, is the call, like, what's the call for? Like, I mean, he's already dropped his record. Like, you guys made your move, so what is really the call for?
Oh, I just wanted to see if there's any way that, we can make peace of the situation. I don't want it to get out of hand.
Zeno's not wrong about one thing. Eminem didn't grow up trying to be some street boss. But here's the part he keeps ignoring. M never claimed he was. So Benzino's out here talking in circles, trying to create a narrative that doesn't even match reality, and it's making the whole thing sound confusing. What makes it even wilder is that he's back to taking shots at Eminem after what happened just last year on Drink Champs. He was literally tearing up talking about M, saying he wanted to meet face to face and finally squash everything, acting like he wanted real peace.
I ate his up. I cooked him. Now, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, he cooked me. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But what you stands is not gonna do it. What you saltines ain't gonna do is try to come here and be like, I didn't affect him. Stop it. Because that shows that y'all ain't real hip hop.
Boston or something like that. How did everybody feel about that?
Nobody paid attention to that.
Right. Okay.
Eminem did not grow up gangster, and Eminem knows that. Eminem.
But now look, fast forward to today, and Benzino is back on the same energy as before, trolling both M and 50 like nothing ever happened.
Invade hip-hop in Rosenberg and make trillions of dollars. This nigga didn't even go to Nipsey's funeral, bro. If he's so fucking hip-hop, how come he ain't blocked 10 blocks in motherfucking Detroit and give it to the homeless black people? Man, fuck Eminem, bro.
Few moments later.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. I got nothing against Eminem. Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want
To really understand why this keeps happening, you gotta rewind to 2002 when Eminem dropped his 4th studio album, The Eminem Show. The Source magazine rated it 4 mics out of 5, but M felt it deserved a perfect score, especially considering how massive that album was. That's when the tension officially exploded. M started dissing The Source and its co-founder Benzino because he was convinced something shady was going on behind the scenes. And from that moment on, the situation turned from a disagreement into a whole era of hip-hop drama that refuses to die even in 2025. Benzino kept saying the only reason Eminem didn't get 5 mics was because he's white, and that's what sparked the whole wildfire between them. From that moment on, the back and forth exploded across the culture. Zeno started calling him a culture vulture, and even labeled him the 2003 Vanilla Ice, trying to drag his legacy straight through the mud. Then came Benzino's diss track, Pull Up Your Skirt, where he doubled down and claimed M's race is the only reason he blew up the way he did. Zeno went as far as rapping the line, 5 shades darker, you'd be cannabis, and no one would care about your complicated rhyme style. What you know about pumping on the block till you freeze. He used that whole angle to paint Eminem as someone who benefited from the industry instead of grinding his way through it like everyone else. And that's when things really shifted, because those bars took the beef from regular rap drama to a full-on reputation war that's still echoing more than 20 years later. Benzino kept pushing the street angle in his diss, dropping lines like, what you know about cutting up rocks, ducking detectives, what you know about facing a grand jury indictment. He followed it up with, as far as I'm concerned, you just industry excitement, trying to paint Eminem as someone who never lived anything close to that life. He wanted the world to believe M was just a polished product, not someone who earned respect on his own. But later on, Benzino tried to backtrack just a little. He told MTV he didn't have a personal issue with Eminem at all. His problem was with the machine and what he called a double standard in hip-hop. He said that certain media outlets treated Eminem like the savior of the culture, calling him the #1 in the game, while ignoring the artists who actually built hip-hop from the ground up. According to Benzino, Eminem was basically just the hood ornament for the industry's agenda. Zeno even said, you think I could grab my crotch and put my ass in people's faces the way he does? No way. He insisted that M only got away with things because, in his words, the color of his skin and his eyes fits what America wants. which made the whole situation even more heated in the public eye. And in Pull Up Your Skirt, Benzino pushed the story even further, claiming Eminem ran to his manager and begged him to handle the beef for him. But M wasn't having that narrative at all. He fired back in his own tracks, making it crystal clear that he wasn't scared, wasn't hiding, and definitely wasn't letting anyone else speak for him. Eminem fired back hard with not 1 but 4 diss tracks, making it clear he never asked his team to squash anything. He denied every claim Benzino tried to push and made sure the whole world knew he wasn't stepping away from the smoke. That should have been the end of it, but Benzino decided to crank things up another level with his track Die Another Day, where he dropped a recorded phone call between himself and M's manager, Paul Rosenberg, trying to make the situation look way bigger than it really was. But then Benzino pushed things past a line you don't cross in hip-hop or anywhere else. He brought up Eminem's daughter, and not just in a passing reference. He used her as a shock tactic to get attention, which the culture instantly saw as foul. He referenced a tragic real-life case that involved a minor, something completely inappropriate and unnecessary, and people were not rocking with that energy at all. In the song, Benzino rapped, "Tell Haley it ain't safe no more." That bar didn't just spark controversy, it turned the beef into something far more serious, and it changed how a lot of people viewed him from that point on. Benzino tried to justify everything by saying he was only giving Eminem a taste of his own medicine, claiming M name-dropped his son Ray first. He pointed to the lines from The Sauce, where M spit. Here's a poster of Ray and his dad. You want to talk about some sauce you don't know about? Yeah, let's talk about how you putting your own son out there to try to eat off him because you missed your boat. M was calling out how Benzino used his son in the industry, flipping it into a bar that hit hard without crossing any dangerous lines. And yeah, it's true. Eminem did mention Benzino's kid before Benzino ever brought up M's family. But the difference is huge, because M wasn't threatening Ray at all. He was critiquing Benzino's behavior, not targeting a child or trying to harm anyone. That's why the culture looked at Benzino's response like it went way too far, because the energy he came back with wasn't even in the same lane. The contrast between the two approaches is exactly what made people call out Benzino's move as unnecessary and out of bounds. Eminem wasn't targeting Ray at all. He was calling out Benzino as a father, saying he was using his own kid for clout just to stay relevant, and that hit deep. When you look at the whole situation, this back and forth shows a clear difference in the legacies these two built. Eminem let the music, the impact, and the career speak for him, while Benzino is still out here 2 decades later trying to rewrite the story like people forgot what really happened. 50's gonna keep clowning him, Benzino's gonna keep trolling, and that cycle probably won't stop anytime soon. But Eminem? He doesn't even need to jump in. His silence is already louder than anything Zeno could ever drop, and that's what really stings in the end. And that's the full breakdown. If you rocked with this deep dive, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment for the MicTrip channel. Your support keeps these stories coming, so tap in and let me know what you want covered next.